Although it is not election season, that does not seem to be stopping Democrats from personally attacking their political opponents. Now, former New Mexican Governor Bill Richardson not only admitted he was not a fan of Senator Ted Cruz, but also questioned Cruz's heritage because of his politics. Watch this.
He's anti-immigration. Almost every Hispanic in the country wants to see immigration reform. No, I don't think he should be defined as a Hispanic. He's a politician from Texas, a conservative state, and I respect Texas's choice. But what I don't like is when you try to get things done, it's okay to be strong and state your views, your ideology. But I've seen him demean the office, be rude to other senators, not be part of, I think, the civility that is really needed in Washington.
Talk about civility. What about President civility? Joining me with reaction, Fox News political analyst. She's always civil. Kirsten Powers, radio talk show host. Dana Loesch is back with us. Guys, good to see you. And I see Harry Reid call Cruz a schoolyard bully. And then yet, what's our friend James Carville is praising Cruz. Are Democrats afraid of Ted Cruz, Kirsten?
I don't think they're afraid of him. I think I agree with James Carville. I think he is an impressive candidate, but I do think that he probably could stand to have maybe a little more sunny disposition if he has a national career in mind in terms of running for president, just because Americans usually like more upbeat, aspirational people.
Dana, I look at Cruz, Mike Lee, Rand Paul, and Marco as kind of the new conservative movement in the country.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I think a lot of Americans, Sean, view them the same way. And Democrats certainly do, which is why they're trying to do everything that they can to pepper the field for 2016 and put some potholes in front of Cruz's way. And Cruz, you know, I think he's very inspirational. I think he has a fantastic story. He has a great background, and his story really resonates with a lot of Americans, which is why so many Americans really identify with Ted Cruz, and so many recognize him. I mean, here's this guy's a newbie, he's a freshman, and already he's a superstar in the movement. So I don't know, Bill Richardson, his criticism would mean something, Sean, if he hadn't already spent quite a long time doing the exact same thing he's condemning now. He did it to Clarence Thomas. He's done it to a number of people. He plays with identity politics. His message is, yeah, you can't be Hispanic unless you're a Democrat Hispanic.
All right, let me go. Terry McAuliffe, good friend of the Clintons, is running for governor in the Commonwealth of Virginia against Ken Cuccinelli, the attorney general there. A devastating, I mean brutal RNC ad that I frankly like. Let's run it.
We got there a little afternoon and spent the whole afternoon in her room. I was trying hard not to appear restless, but I'm not one to sit still for long, and soon I was going stir-crazy, which drove Dorothy nuts. "Isn't there something you need to do?" she finally said. I told her that the Washington Post was having a party that evening for Lloyd Grove, who wrote the Reliable Source column. I went flying out the door and drove to the party. I made the rounds at the party and ran into Marjorie Williams, who was writing a story on me for Vanity Fair magazine. She was shocked. "Isn't Dorothy having a baby today?" she asked. Marjorie just couldn't understand how I could have left Dorothy alone. Dorothy was starting to well up in the back seat. She was having trouble understanding how I could be taking my wife and newborn baby to a fundraiser on our way home from the hospital. We got to the dinner, and by then Dorothy was in tears. And I left her with Justin and went inside. I felt bad for Dorothy, but it was $1 million for the Democratic Party. Nobody ever said life with me was going to be easy. Nobody ever said life with me was going to be easy. Nobody ever said life with me was going to be easy.
That was just awesome. I mean, that was one of the funniest ads I think I've ever seen, and it's devastating.
He wrote it.
You don't
and
look
he
like
wrote it too, Sean.
Yeah, and he wrote the ad. I mean, he's admitting all these things. I'm taking my wife's crying, my newborn baby's crying. And I went to raise $1 million for the Democrats. Real family values, Kirsten.
It's just weird. Like, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know why anybody would brag about that kind of behavior. It's just very strange behavior.
Yeah, your wife's having a baby, and she thinks you're getting a little stir-crazy. Honey, go out and raise money for your fellow Democrats. You know, I don't need you in here anyway. That wouldn't fly. This may shock you, Kirsten. This wouldn't fly in the Hannity household.
Oh, no, I know that. I've met your wife. That would not happen. That would not happen.
How big an impact could that have, Dana?
Oh, I think it's going to have a pretty big impact, at least for voters, because he's never held statewide office. They're still getting used to his name, so that's who he is. Maybe he could sue them for libel like he did the Franklin Center if they didn't like it.
Yep. All right, we'll see. Guys, good to see you both. We appreciate it, as always.